Okay, here's my audience members. Camera person. Here's my outline for the presentation. So, our presentation's about seat belts. Have you ever operated or occupied a motor vehicle without the use of your seat belts? Statistics shows many of you don't. When I was growing up back in the 70s and 80s, it was common to ride in the back of a pickup truck or lay down in the back seat without using our seat belts. Today, although we are driving much safer cars with airbags and anti-lock brakes, we're traveling much busier roads at a much higher speeds. Do you know the number one cause of death to young people? The number one death to young people, according to the Centers for Disease Control, is motor vehicle accidents. There's about 30,000 annual deaths on American highways each year. It is imperative that you use your seatbelt, not only for your safety, but for the safety of occupants of the vehicle. If you are the driver, you are responsible for the safety of yourself and all occupants of the vehicle. According to the website for Bureau of Transportation Statistics, there are just over 260 million registered vehicles in the United States today. In 1965, there was only about 92 million in use. Although today's cars are safer, there's approximately 3 times the amount of cars than compared to 1965. That raises the risk of auto accidents. The best way to prevent injury or death for you and your passengers is the use of proper restraints. There are several different restraining systems for vehicular use. According to American of Pediatrics, at a minimum, children should be in a rear-facing car seat from newborn to 2 years of age, or until they reach a maximum height and weight for that car seat. Once switched to a forward-facing position, that child should remain in that forward-facing seat until they have reached the maximum weight or height for that seat, or at least 4 years of age. After, the child should ride in a shoulder position booster until they have reached 4 foot 9 inches tall and are between 8 to 12 years of age. For adults or children large enough to fit correctly, the typical shoulder seat belt should be used. The belt should fit across the upper thigh and across the shoulder and chest and not across the neck. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's graph shown here, fatalities per 100 million vehicle miles traveled have dropped significantly since 1965. The next graph, which is shown here, people injured and injury rates had significantly decreased from 151 million per 100 million vehicle miles traveled in 1990 to 78 per 100 million vehicle miles traveled in 2015. This is good news, and some of it can be contributed to seatbelt use. But don't let this information give you a false sense of security. Some accidents are not survivable, and restraint use is no guarantee. But evidence suggests that the use of seatbelt increases your odds. For instance, the Department of Transportation reports that occupants who survived fatal crashes in 2015 were wearing their seatbelts 88% of the time. Also, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's publication, Traffic Safety Facts, the nationwide seatbelt usage is at an all-time high of 88% in 2015. 45 to 50% of passenger vehicle crashes in 2014 were unrestrained. So out of that 12 or 13% that did not use their seatbelts, shows that there was a much higher fatality rate in a car accident. You can see this by this graph here. can see this by the graph from 2000 to 2015 as the seatbelt usage increases, that the number of fatalities has significantly decreased. Another way to persuade you is that Missouri law requires you to wear your seatbelt. If you are driving or an occupant in a passenger vehicle, according to Missouri Revised Statute 307.178.1 and 307.179.1, it is unlawful to operate or be in a passenger seat without the use of a seatbelt. Wearing your seatbelt is just common sense. Personally, I don't need the law to tell me to do something so obviously good for me. I'd rather keep my money than to give it away by paying a traffic fine for not wearing my seatbelt. In conclusion, science and statistics cannot pinpoint an exact rate of survival by just wearing your seatbelt. Over the years, many variables have changed. For example, speed limits have changed, airbags, anti-lock brakes, and other technologies to make cars safer. But statistics does strongly suggest that survivability is higher if you are using your seatbelt. Do yourself a favor. Wearing a seatbelt is the most effective way to prevent death or serious injury in a car crash. The end.